Hi, my name is Bill Gates. I'm Maricopa County Supervisor, and we're doing another one of our coffee chats today. And I want to thank everybody for joining us. Want to thank all the viewers for taking a few minutes to hear about what's going on in Maricopa County. And I'm thrilled to have a wonderful guest today, good friend of mine, one of my FONA friends out in the legislature, and an incredible advocate for LD28, which I'm actually a constituent of hers. And LD28 is Senator Kate Brophy McGee. Senator Kate, thanks for joining us today.
Bill, it's such a pleasure to be here and always enjoy catching up with you. I know we both have been very, very busy.
Well, yeah, you have been busy, and yesterday was actually sine die. Boy, talk about having good luck to have scheduled this. So there was a lot of news made out there at the Senate yesterday. And so I wondered if you could just tell our viewers, maybe those who don't follow the legislature so quickly, when I say it was sine die yesterday, what that means and what exactly happened yesterday.
Well, and thanks for the opportunity. So 2 weeks ago, first of all, let me just back up and say that in late March, around the 23rd of March, we shut down session. We adopted what we call the skinny budget, because regardless of what bills pass or don't pass, we must adopt a budget for the coming year. So we weren't exactly sure when we as a legislature would come back. So we adopted a skinny budget that fully funded the remainder of the K-12 20 by 2020 commitment and some ongoing obligations. And we left session with the idea that we would come back and consider additional bills and additional money bills is what we call them, appropriations requests. And that didn't happen. We went deep into the crisis, and we really did not come back to session until 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, there was a brief agreement between the Senate and the House that we were going to adjourn sine die. The Senate followed through with that adjournment. The House elected to commence some more committee work and some more legislation and legislative work. And they finished that up and went to sine die last Thursday. Now, sine die is a Latin term meaning a day without end, and it's usually how the last day of session plays out. But it is formally when the legislature closes up shop, unless they call themselves or are called back into special session. We closed up shop, and the Senate followed through yesterday. The vote from 2 weeks ago versus yesterday was a bit different, because 2 weeks ago, 26 members of the Senate voted to sine die, to end session. And then yesterday, it was 16 senators voted to sine die, and I was one of those senators.
Now, sorry to interrupt, Kate. I know one of the questions that people have been asking, those people who do follow this, is that I guess there was a bill that came out of the House to provide some protection for businesses in the COVID-19 era. Can you talk about that particular issue and whether you think that that's something that ought to be addressed in the special session?
Happy to talk about it. There were a couple of bills related to business liability that began to appear as a potential topic for either the end of session or special session. And those bills were, one in particular was kind of cobbled together. It did not include input from the business community. It didn't include input from the governor's office. It was just a bill that hopefully would provide business liability protection from the results of the COVID pandemic. The House Rules Attorney raised constitutional concerns. There is the Arizona Constitution prohibition against abrogating liability. I lost my screen here. So that passed out of the House. They waived all kinds of rules, and the push was on to pass it in the Senate. It wasn't the bill we have been looking for, the business community has been looking for. It had a lot of gaps, it had a lot of holes. The business liability is my top priority for a special session going forward. We must figure out a way to protect not just businesses, but nonprofits, municipalities, to see if we can put together a legislative initiative that will make it possible for everyone to get back to work. And that's my top priority.
Well, that's great to hear. And you've been such a supporter of not only small businesses in the community over the years, but also these nonprofits that, whether it's Desert Mission Food Bank or, you name it, St. Vincent de Paul, in the Sunny Slope area, for one, you've been so supportive of over the years. So I have no doubt that you're going to do everything you can to get that done for us and for our community. So thanks for that. And while we're talking about the community, I am so grateful for what you've been doing to support our local businesses and support our first responders and our healthcare heroes. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Bill, you've actually been part of some of those enterprises. Very first thing when the legislature went into recess with the onset of the stay home, stay safe orders from the governor, you and I and Councilwoman Deb Stark put together a blood drive and a food bank drive. As you know, I think you're on the Vitalent board, the opportunities for blood donations have dropped precipitously. And so our purpose was to raise awareness for the need for blood and blood donations, and also to provide for Desert Mission and other food banks. When restaurants closed and when the crush hit the grocery stores to provide additional groceries for people who were staying at home, the food banks sources for food distribution also dried up. So it was a great disruption in the supply chain. So the very first thing I did with you and Deb was a blood drive and a food bank drive. The constituent services requests that have come into my office have been daunting. And I'm certain every single one of my colleagues is facing the same thing, whether it's unemployment assistance, whether it's travel ID, I mean, you name it. Across the board, we are handling a crush of constituent inquiries. And
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt, Kate, but I'll tell you, I'm sure your colleagues are getting a lot of those calls too, but I bet you're getting more because you have established yourself as somebody who answers the phone, responds to texts, and it is greatly appreciated by your constituents. So I know it's a lot of work, but it's making a big difference, especially now. People don't know where to turn. They're scared. They're hungry. They're out of work. So thank you for what you're doing there. It's making a big difference.
I do have a few honorary constituents out in Mesa, Chandler, and West Phoenix who called for help. So you're right.
I bet you do. Well, hey, this is campaign season that we're going into now, and I'm very, very grateful that you're running for re-election to the state senate from R-LD28. So for our viewers here who would like to support you, help you, send you back down to the state capitol, how can they help your campaign?
And thank you for asking. I'm looking forward to the campaign, which will be interrupted with special sessions I'm sure we're going to have a number of special sessions, but when we're on the campaign trail, please go to www.katemcgee.com, click under volunteer, and you will find a whole bunch of ways that you could help, everything from donating to making phone calls to hosting a meet and greet, whether it's virtual or in person with your neighbors, or picking up a yard sign. I rebooted my yard sign design. They're in production. I can't wait to show you, Bill. You're going to love them.
That's great.
And you and I are going to be opening a campaign office. Do you want to kind of talk through that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we will soon be opening a campaign office with us, and then also supported by the LD28 Republicans over there at 7th Street in Glendale. So when you pop in to get your sauce or Payway or the Safeway, they can stop by and get involved in our campaign. Thank you, Kate, for reaching out to me on that. I'm proud and thrilled to be a part of that. And it's just a great location within our districts where people can come and get engaged. And, that's what this is all about, is getting involved in democracy. And we're fortunate to represent areas where people do get involved. And that'll be a place for people to come and to support the effort and meet their neighbors and be a part of something. It's exciting.
So what I can also say to people who are interested, so much of how we work together across the governmental lines, whether it's city or county or state or federal, is based on relationships. And ever since your tenure on the Phoenix City Council and now with the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors, we've had a wonderful working relationship. You have been enormously helpful from a resource viewpoint regarding COVID crisis questions and resources having to do with restaurant openings and everything else. And county health, the county public health department. It has just been such a pleasure to work with you for our constituents, and now to have the opportunity to work together on the campaign trail. I'm really excited.
No, me too. I couldn't agree more about it. We have worked together on so many things, and thanks for the nice comments about our Maricopa County Public Health. I mean, they're just doing incredible work, long 12, 16-hour days that started in late January when we had our first positive COVID-19 case. And now for months, weeks and months now, those folks have been working so hard. And now we're growing the team right now, adding 60 new employees to help with the contact tracing. Plus, the Board of Supervisors has just approved a contract with Crisis Response Network and 211 to where we will literally have hundreds of people backing up these new 60 employees, because everything you see says that contact tracing is a key. It's going to be the key for opening back up in a safe way. And, we wouldn't be able to do it if it wasn't for the great support we've gotten from the governor and from the state legislature on everything, and our friends over at the city of Phoenix and other municipalities here. I mean, it's never been more true that all the levels of government have to work together. Members of both parties have to work together now more than ever. And you're just the embodiment of that. So thanks, Kate. I can't believe you want to go down there for another spin at the barrel at the state capitol, but I'm so happy that you are. And I just hope that all of our viewers can get out there and support you. And thanks for coming on today on my virtual coffee. And good luck with all the special sessions. And we'll all be here supporting you and getting you whatever you need as you continue to make the tough decisions down there.
Thank you, Supervisor Gates. It's I love the opportunity to be in a position to do good, and that's why I want to go back down, is to do good. So look forward to working with you going forward.
Sounds great. Thanks so much. Thanks, Kate, and thanks to everybody who watched this week's virtual coffee. And although Kate Brophy McGee is going to be a very, very tough act to follow, look forward for future guests in the weeks and months ahead. Thanks so much, everybody, and have a great day. Stay safe out there.
Thank you.